Ever pondered what true happiness means and where it comes from? How about we take a journey through the Beatitudes from the Bible to uncover this mystery? The Beatitudes, found in Luke 6:20-23, are profound teachings from Jesus, each beginning with the word blessed. They offer us a unique perspective on happiness, one that is often contrary to the world's understanding. These teachings give us a glimpse into the wisdom of Jesus, who tells us that true happiness and fulfillment are not found in wealth, power, or popularity, but in the most unexpected places. In poverty, in hunger, in sorrow, and even when we face hatred. These might seem like unlikely places to find blessings, but as we delve deeper into each beatitude, we will discover how they offer a countercultural roadmap to true happiness. By understanding these teachings, we can gain a deeper understanding of happiness and fulfillment. And so, our journey through the Beatitudes begins. First off, blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of God. But what does it truly mean? This beatitude, like the others, is a profound statement that may seem paradoxical at first glance. After all, how could one find blessing in poverty? The key to understanding this lies not in focusing on material wealth or lack thereof, but rather on the spiritual state of being poor. When we speak of being poor in the context of the Beatitudes, it's not merely about financial scarcity. Instead, it's about acknowledging our spiritual poverty, our neediness, our absolute dependence on God. This poverty is about realizing that we are not self-sufficient, that we can't do it all on our own, and that we are in need of God's grace and mercy. This is akin to being poor in spirit, a term also used in the Bible. In this sense, the statement, "Blessed are the poor," is a call to humility. It's a call to acknowledge our limitations, to recognize our need for help, to admit our weaknesses and our shortcomings. And in doing so, it's a call to open ourselves up to the grace and love of God. In the grand scheme of things, our earthly wealth or poverty matters little. What truly matters is our spiritual state, our relationship with God, and our openness to His grace. When we acknowledge our spiritual poverty, we open the door to the kingdom of God. This kingdom is not a physical place, but rather a state of being in which we are in harmony with God's will and thereby find peace, joy, and fulfillment. So, embracing humility and recognizing our dependency on God, that's where this blessing lies. It's not about being financially poor, but about being spiritually humble. It's about acknowledging our need for God, and in doing so, allowing His grace to fill our lives, to guide us, and to lead us towards the true richness of His kingdom. Moving on, blessed are those who hunger now, for they will be satisfied, and blessed are those who weep now, for they will laugh. Sounds paradoxical, right? But let's look a bit deeper. When Jesus speaks of hunger, He's not just referring to physical hunger for food. He's talking about a spiritual hunger, a profound longing for righteousness, for a deeper connection with God, for a world imbued with justice and love. This hunger is a driving force in our spiritual journey. It propels us forward, making us reach out for that which is truly valuable and eternal. And guess what? This longing, this hunger shall be satisfied. Not with the fleeting pleasures of this world, but with the enduring fulfillment that comes from a life lived in tune with God's will. It's a promise of spiritual nourishment that will satiate the deepest hunger of our souls. Now let's move on to those who weep. Again, this isn't only about physical tears, it's about the sorrow that comes from living in a world where injustice, pain, and loss are all too real. It's about the grief we feel when we see the brokenness of the world around us. But it's not a sorrow without hope. Jesus promises that those who weep now will laugh. This profound statement gives us a glimpse into the heart of God. It reassures us that our present suffering does not go unnoticed and it's not in vain. Our tears are seen, our pain is acknowledged, and there is a promise of joy and laughter. This is not to say that our current struggles are insignificant, but rather that they are part of a larger narrative where sorrow is turned into joy, where weeping gives way to laughter. So, in essence, these Beatitudes, blessed are those who hunger now, and blessed are those who weep now, are an invitation. An invitation to acknowledge our spiritual hunger and our sorrow, and to trust in God's promise of ultimate satisfaction and joy. Thus, enduring hardships with faith leads to ultimate satisfaction and joy. Lastly, blessed are you when people hate you, when they exclude you and insult you and reject your name as evil because of the Son of Man. Quite a challenge, isn't it? Indeed, this fourth beatitude from Luke chapter 6 verse 23 is a potent one. It does not promise comfort, acceptance, or popularity. Instead, it calls us to a life where we may face hatred, exclusion, and insult for the sake of our faith. Yet it promises us an extraordinary reward: blessedness. Now let's unpack this. Blessedness, in this context, is not about material wealth or human approval. It's about an inner state of joy, peace, and fulfillment that comes from aligning oneself with God's will, even when it's at odds with societal norms or expectations. It's a divine reward that surpasses worldly gains. So, how does one become blessed when facing hatred or exclusion? It's about standing firm in faith, even when the world is against you. It's about recognizing that our ultimate loyalty is not to the shifting sands of human opinion, but to the Rock of Ages, the Son of Man, Jesus Christ himself. This beatitude is not a call to seek out persecution or to be combative in our faith. Instead, it's a call to stand firm in love, truth, and righteousness, regardless of the cost. It's about being authentic in our faith, being true to our convictions, and not compromising our values for the sake of acceptance or popularity. You see, when we live this way, we might face opposition. We might be misunderstood, excluded, or even hated. But remember, we're in good company. Jesus himself was hated, insulted, and rejected. Yet, he remained true to his mission. And because of that, we have hope and salvation. So yes, it is a challenge, but it's a challenge worth taking. Because when we stand firm in our faith, we are not just blessed, we become a blessing. We become a beacon of hope, a testament of grace, and a reflection of God's love in a world that desperately needs it. So, standing firm in our faith, even amidst persecution, that's where true blessing resides. Having understood these profound teachings, how do we apply them in our modern lives? This is the question that we now turn to. The Beatitudes, though ancient, are timeless in their wisdom and guidance. They call us to a life of humility, resilience, and integrity, values that are as crucial today as they were 2,000 years ago. So, let's start with the first Beatitude: Blessed are the poor. In the context of our modern world, this doesn't necessarily refer to financial poverty. Although that's a part of it, it's more about an attitude of humility, a recognition that we're not self-sufficient and that we're dependent on something greater than ourselves. In practical terms, this could mean admitting when we're wrong, being open to learning from others, or simply approaching life with a sense of gratitude rather than entitlement. Next, blessed are those who hunger and weep. This is about resilience in the face of life's challenges. It's about not giving up when things get tough, but instead leaning into the discomfort, the pain, the hunger, and the tears. It's about trusting that these trials are shaping us into stronger, more compassionate, more grounded individuals. Then, blessed are you when people hate you. This beatitude is a call to integrity. It's about standing firm in our beliefs and values, even when they're unpopular or met with resistance. This can mean speaking out against injustice, advocating for those who are marginalized, or simply living authentically, even when it's easier to conform. Finally, let's remember that the Beatitudes are not a recipe for a problem-free life, but rather a pathway to a more meaningful and fulfilling one. They invite us to embrace our humanity, our vulnerability, our struggles, our uniqueness, and to find joy, strength, and blessing in the midst of it all. As we apply these teachings, we find a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. So we've journeyed through the Beatitudes, unraveled their wisdom, and discovered how they apply to our lives. We've seen that being poor, hungry, or weeping doesn't necessarily mean we are devoid of blessings. Instead, it's an invitation to uncover strength and resilience within ourselves. We've also learned that even when we face hate or persecution, we can still find solace in the knowledge that we're walking the path Jesus himself walked. The Beatitudes are not just verses tucked away in Luke's Gospel. They are a guide for us, a beacon of light in the midst of darkness, a source of everlasting comfort and hope. They call us to live a life of humility, compassion, and courage. And remember, my friends, true happiness isn't found in material wealth, but in the richness of a spirit aligned with these teachings. Remember, true happiness lies within these teachings. Do share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights like this.